What is going on, guys? Today we are making an Instant Pot recipe. I personally love my Instant Pot. If you guys don't have one, I will let you know down below in the blog post how to make this on the stovetop. Super simple as well. But we're gonna put our Instant Pot to use and make a keto chicken marsala. So for this recipe, you can use any cut of chicken you want. We have some boneless, skinless chicken thighs right here, and we are gonna make it a creamy style. So we're gonna be adding some heavy cream in to up that fat, and this is just gonna be so delicious. So the first thing we're gonna do before we get our chicken thighs searing is gonna cut up some shallot, because as you guys know, once you get the saute function on this Instant Pot going, it just heats too quickly. My garlic always burns, there's always issues, so I'm gonna wait to get that started. Roughly slice these. And we're gonna pull out our chicken thighs. So we're gonna do about a pound of chicken thighs here. And I'm gonna pat them dry because a moist piece of meat doesn't sear up and get crispy as well as a dry piece does. So let's pull out some chicken thighs here. Just gonna pat them dry. And then I'm just gonna salt and pepper these. Now we're all prepped, let's get our Instant Pot going. We're gonna turn on the saute function and we're gonna add about a tablespoon of avocado oil, coconut oil, ghee, animal fat, whatever you have on hand. Saute. Let's add in our tablespoon. That's gonna help saute. So we're gonna sear these, and wow. You can do it in batches if necessary, depending on how much chicken you have. And we're just getting a nice sear on them. We're not gonna cook them through because they're gonna continue to cook when we actually use the Instant Pot and do manual high heat pressure. All right, so we're gonna give these a nice flip. So now that the chicken thighs have been searing for 2 minutes on each side, I'm gonna just pull them out and set them on a plate. And again, they are not cooked through, but they will cook through when we get them in at the end. So we're gonna add a little more oil to the pan, and then our shallots. And saute these until they're fragrant, 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're gonna add in some garlic. So 2 cloves of freshly chopped up garlic or some minced garlic for the convenience of it. I like a lot of garlic. And your garlic can burn pretty quick, so this is just a quick 30-second saute. And then we're gonna add in the rest of our ingredients. 1 cup chicken broth, and in here there's 2 tablespoons of butter. So that's gonna give it a nice buttery, creamy base. And then chicken marsala, of course, there's the Marsala wine. We don't have any Marsala wine on hand, and we thought we would just make it a little more keto friendly by just using additional chicken broth. So if you want to use the wine, just use 1/3 cup of wine, or you can add in an extra 1/3 cup of chicken broth. It'll definitely taste better with wine, and that wine will cook off quite a bit. Not as much as you think, but it will cook off if you're worried about that as well. And then we're gonna do 1/3 cup of heavy cream to give it a nice, creamy, fatty base. And this is optional as well if you don't want to do the cream. I just like creamy everything. Like that, nice. Let's give that a nice stir, get that butter melted. And we're just gonna be scraping up any of those bits that came off when we were sauteing the chicken, and that'll add a lot more flavor. And then depending on the sodium content of your chicken broth, so if you're using low sodium, you may want to add more salt itself to the recipe, but this is not low sodium, so we don't need any more salt. So now that the butter has melted down and everything is incorporated, we are gonna toss in our mushrooms. And we have 8 ounces of baby bell mushrooms here, and they're already pre-sliced, which I like. So if you come in here, you can see that everything is fully incorporated. The mushrooms aren't cooked down at all, but that's gonna happen when we get this puppy covered. So what we're gonna do now is add our chicken back in, and then we are going to change the cooking setting on this Instant Pot and let it do its magic. We are going to change the pressure on this. So you always have to turn it off. And then we're gonna put our lid on, manual. It's already on high pressure. We're gonna seal the vent here. So it's sealing, venting, so make sure it's on sealing. Here it goes. So it'll take about 5 minutes to come to pressure. It always depends on how much liquid is in there, but this should take 5 minutes to come to pressure. And then we're gonna let it cook for 5 minutes, and then we will let it release for 5 minutes, and we'll be back to see what it looks like. All right, guys, we're back. And if you are new to using Instant Pots, we highly recommend it, and we'll link the one that we use below. We are ready to manually release this guy. So It cooked for 5 minutes, and you can see here the time that has elapsed since it has cooked is 5 minutes. So you want to let it release on its own for about 5 minutes, and this prevents the chicken from getting super tough. Now we're going to just turn the sealing to venting, and be careful, it is very hot, so I like to use a towel and then release the rest of the pressure like this. So you can see that's a lot of steam. So I like to cover it. That looks nice and buttery. So what we're gonna do now is remove our chicken thighs to a serving platter. And these are fully cooked through. And then we are going to turn our Instant Pot off and then put it back on saute because we want to thicken this sauce. And this is optional, but I like a nice thick creamy sauce. So we're gonna put it on saute, let this get heated, and add 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is something we like to have on hand. A little goes a long way here, so you don't want to overdo it. Start with the 1/4 teaspoon, then you can always up from there. But this is great for making chewy cookies, sauces, soups, really anything that needs some thickening to it. Add our xanthan gum. And this should take a couple minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to actually thicken up. Okay, so we're back. It's been about 3 minutes, and I turned off our Instant Pot because you can tell, if you can come in here, that this is nice and thick. So that is good to go. So we are just gonna ladle this sauce over our chicken. Oh yeah. And we still have a lot of sauce left over, so you can top that, or you can just leave it on the side, or you can actually store it in the fridge. Oh yeah, the chicken's nice and tender, fully cooked through. It's delicious. I love mushrooms personally. So like the mushroom still has a nice bite to it. You can get a lot of that flavor. The chicken has absorbed the sauce, creamy. It's hearty, it's super, super good. So linked below is the recipe on how to make this with the ingredients and the directions. And we have a couple other air fryer and Instant Pot recipes that you wanna check out if you have some busy work nights coming up. Thank you for joining me. Please make this and let me know what you think. See you soon.